All right, guys, let's connect today, January 21st, 2024. Coming at you for the live stream to talk about the Walking Dead universe, other shows, other movies, other stuff, anything you want to talk about, let us know in the chat. Spoiler warning for all things Walking Dead, obviously, if you don't know the information that we are going to talk about here, about the ones who live, or see my recent videos, or you're worried about just hearing stuff you don't want to know. Stop watching now, and the live stream, the replay on there as well. But ultimately, guys, hopefully you're safe and sound this winter, January 21st, 2024. Hopefully everyone's safe and sound and staying warm if you're probably in cold places. But if you're not, you're staying dry and staying whatever. So I live in Florida, if you don't know, and here it's a little chilly in Tampa Bay. So, relatively speaking, compared to other places of the country that are like negative temperatures on there, just a little chilly out there. But hopefully you're going to be watching some football. If you already watched it yesterday, some good games, and hopefully there's more games today. The Buccaneers play the Lions first, and then it's the Bills and Chiefs to play later tonight to see who plays the Ravens and the 49ers. So I said before that I doubt anyone's going to be there but the Ravens and the 49ers, but you never know. The Packers put up a good fight, and it was close. It was way closer than I thought. But thank you for you guys taking the time to be here to talk about the Walking Dead universe. Let us know in the chat if you want to get any questions answered on there too. Hopefully you're watching Reacher. I'm guessing it was 8 episodes because we watched it yesterday, and it just fit how it ended to be the end of the season. So season 3 I know was greenlit, but thank you Lindsay, Brian, A Big Tree, Dawn, Rob, Soul Life, VGX Goose, Jeannie Smith, everybody else taking the time to be here as well. We truly appreciate it. VGX Goose says, hey PT, I've been following you for a few years now. Glad to see you're still posting. So I appreciate it, VGX Goose. So yeah, I mean, with being back as a full-time physical therapist, it's just harder and harder to, post videos and take the time to do it right, and then trying to finish up the book series and trying to finish this and finish that. But I'm very excited about the ones who live. It's definitely something that I want to watch. And so there's been some reports that have been coming out, and hopefully you guys have seen them. And there's definitely some different sources that are saying, that the first episode, I believe, is titled Years. There was another name for it earlier, but now I believe it's titled Years. And it's supposedly, per Rotten Tomatoes, going to be 90 minutes. Now, I don't know if they're going to do a 90-minute opening episode, but they could. Hopefully they do. Well, that means it'll probably be 2 hours then on AMC. And that's kind of crazy to think from 9 to 11 of what it is, because if it's 90 minutes actual runtime, then there's going to have to be times for commercial breaks and here and there. But if it's an hour and 30 minutes total runtime with commercials in it, we don't know just yet. When it gets closer to there, guys, we'll be finding out more and more information. I don't know any reviewers or anybody gets early access to it, so I just don't know what's happening with anyone who's watched it just yet. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks until the return of Rick and Michonne to the Walking Dead universe. And 5 weeks, it'll be here before you know it, right? So we just got to get through this Sunday and then next Sunday, and then we're into February. And then we're into the month. So February 1st is, not this Thursday, but the following Thursday. So a week from Thursday, we're into the month of Rick and Michonne returning. And, we're going to get more and more theories and more ideas and more speculation and more everything. So Rick coming back around, it's been forever, it's been one of those things where I'm like, man, so he went away, and then there was a big time jump from when Rick went away and Judith was older and Magnus group and everything there too in the same episode. So there was already a huge time jump from that. So what was like 6 years about that? 7? I don't know. 5? Anywhere between 5 to 7 years. I roughly don't. The timeline of the Walking Dead universe is all over the place, and it's cloudy as it's clear as mud. I just don't see the timeline being that specific, but. Either way, Rick's been gone away at least 5-6 years from when Michonne went away. So I would assume there's going to be a lot of story to do that. And Rick could really rank up and do this and do that. And, there's been a lot of talk about Rick being a pilot and Rick being in line second row. Does that mean status? Does that just mean he's there in that line? He's not front row because it would be obvious there too. He's like right behind the guy, right in the middle of the frame when Major General Beale is talking to him. So does Rick try to leave? I would assume he had to want to get away, but it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure Rick thought about leaving one way or another, taking himself out or trying to escape, or it's interesting. Is Rick going to be a pilot? I don't know. I mean, what are the things going to be able to do? Would they have to train people? Not everyone knows all these skills, but if there's someone there to teach, that's always a good thing, even in the world today. Brian asks, hey, Bri, it's been 2 years since Iris and Elton went to Portland. What's taking them so long to come back with reinforcements? Well, when the show ended, that's really the end of their story, most likely. I mean, I don't know what Iris and Elton have been up to, Hope, Dr. Bennett. People are wondering if we're going to see Silas in The Ones Who Live. But we just don't know. I mean, there's just no way to tell just yet. There's been no spoilers if Silas was on set or anyone from the world beyond besides Jadis. So, Jarvis Austin asked at PT, what shows do you recommend watching until then? Please name a few good ones. I have literally nothing to watch. So, Jarvis, if you have anything, I don't know what services you have to watch. I do like Reacher. Like Jeannie said, it's 2 seasons right now. It's really good. I like From. That's an MGM Plus show. I don't know what you've seen, Jarvis. If you haven't seen Breaking Bad, definitely go watch that. If you haven't seen Better Call Saul, go watch that. Cobra Kai's good on Netflix. Of course, Stranger Things, Game of Thrones. Sopranos is always good. I don't know really what you want to watch, Jarvis, and what you have for services, but let us know what there. And if anybody else has ideas for him, that's always good. That for it's always interesting too, because some people have told me about shows and recommend there too. So James asked, hey man, what is your favorite episode of The Walking Dead? Also, have you watched Stranger Things? So I've definitely seen Stranger Things. I'm excited for that. It's pretty awesome to think about, Stranger Things, where it's come and went, and now I think they just started filming, or they're about to start filming, and that's going to be the final season of Stranger Things. I enjoy that. My favorite episode of The Walking Dead, I like a lot of Season 6, but I have to go Season 6, Episode 9 is my favorite episode too, No Way Out. Soul Life says, can you pilot with one hand? Well, probably, but what if he's a pilot for all that time and then he loses his hand? So then he can't be a pilot anyway. But also, he's not going to be doing... So he could have been a pilot for all these years, became friendly with pilots, loses his hand, has to kill walkers, gets demoted, gets put in the lower ranks, has to kill the walkers, tries to get out, have a revolution, whatever, revolt against the powers that be, get his people together, get into a helicopter, someone else flies him away. He doesn't have to actually be the pilot, but he can actually learn how to fly a little bit as well, or maybe or help, be a co-pilot at least, Jonathan Wilder, do you think there will be an epilogue on The Ones Who Live ending? I don't know. I mean, there's that. Well, I don't know what the plan is. Well, let's get to the first episode first. Let's get to the 5 weeks. Let's get to the first episode, season 1, episode 1. Let's get to there. Then we'll worry about how it ends, where it's going to go. Because 6 episodes happens like that. It's going to happen super quick. We're going to wait all this time, years and years and years, for Rick to return. And he actually kind of had a soft return at the end of The Walking Dead, which was great. But it's just one of those things where I want more Rick Grimes. I don't need a lot. I don't need like a million episodes of Rick, and I don't need a million seasons and series and spinoffs and this, but I just need a satisfying ending. If it's 6 episodes, if it's another season or another series or something, I just need it to feel like, okay, he's gone or he made it home, the end. for the Rick story, because I would assume that The Walking Dead is going to have the Daryl story be carried on for a little bit longer. Carol, Daryl, Dead City, whatever they want to do. Because I don't know if they can just stop The Walking Dead or if they want to just stop it and then eventually come back to it. Because if they just stopped it, people have already lost interest. You know, The Walking Dead will never be what it once was, and that's fine. I mean, it was a huge show. It was one of the biggest shows in cable television history, which is awesome. And that's why it still has a following today. Now, it's definitely not a huge following. It's not something that is going to be, you know, carried on forever. But all good things must come to an end, and I just want it to be a satisfying ending because they have the time to do it. They can end it. They don't have to just say, oh, well, the funding is cut or the network went under or this happened. AMC and The Walking Dead, you know, Gimple and everybody else can have a satisfying ending if they wanted to. But they just want to stretch it out, string us along, get that cash cow, milk it a little bit longer, and then be done. Joey, Q&A, a major general reveal is seen with a sword in the trailer. If it's Michonne's sword, do you think that could be how Rick finds out Michonne is there? That's a good point. Well, I think the best thing to do is, well, if they're going to highlight, they might tease it a little bit like that as well. Katana is a good way to have, it's synonymous with Michonne. And that could be, we know that Michonne is there looking for Rick, but Rick doesn't know that. Rick doesn't know. The bigger thing is I want to know what happened to that green bottle, too. Like when Rick threw it in the water, what's going to happen with that? But I think Rick is going to be in the middle of like a revolution, or Michonne's people are going to start fighting the CRM. And I think that's ultimately how, you know, Rick's going to find out that Michonne is there. But it would be a nice tease, but then they would have to go get it, like a Terminus thing where Carol goes back in and grabs a couple things and blah, 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 and get the gun and, you know, the watch and whatever. So you get to see that happen. So I think there's going to be a lot of callbacks and connections, like not remakes, but just like redo of what's familiar to us, but now with the CRM and connecting us with Rick, Michonne, and the Walking Dead universe. And that's a good point. That could happen for sure. Jarvis asked if only From came back out right before the Walking Dead Rick return. So yeah, I mean, From is filming right now, season 3. So let's just be happy that they're filming. We're gonna get a season 3, and hopefully we're gonna get more questions answered about, you know, Tabitha and everybody there in Fromland, Fromville, and to see, you know, you gotta get some more answers. We got enough with the 2 seasons and more questions. They need to have town meetings and questions. And if you haven't seen From, that's what I'm talking about there. It's a show on MGM Plus, and it's really good too. So, Phantom Deluxe, hey Bri, in the official look of the Rick show, we saw CRM helicopters flying over mountains. Was it in the States or somewhere in Europe? So, Phantom Deluxe, that's a good question. I just made a video that I posted yesterday, so I wanted to get a video out yesterday morning, and there's been a lot of talk about those helicopters and the mountains and everything. So, spoiler warning if you're watching this on the replay and you haven't seen that video and you don't want to know potential spoilers. But the big thing about it is that people are thinking that Rick and Michonne eventually end up in Yellowstone in Wyoming. So if we end up in the mountains there, that makes sense where that is going. So we see 2 helicopters, at least 2 helicopters are flying there. Is that Rick and Michonne? Is that CRM going after Rick and Michonne? But that's what a lot of people are thinking. That's a shot of them going to Wyoming in the Yellowstone National Park. So I don't know and don't think there's going to be major connections with France and Daryl because the timelines don't add up unless there's time jumps. You know, they could start. So if you think about it, there's going to have to be some time. They're going to have to play with time because the time jump from or the flashback, I guess, or the time reversal of time, the rewind, is going to be what has Rick been doing since he left. When Jadis was in the helicopter and he was getting medical treatment and he was probably almost dying and he's going to be clearly fine, because we've seen him. But ultimately, what has he been doing since then? Time jump there. Michonne had to get caught up with her and the pioneers and the people there. So that time jump, and what has she been doing since then? So how much time will we see in the episodes from Rick went away to Michonne getting there to Michonne finding Rick, and what's the timeline of that too? And hopefully it's explained very well. I just don't know if they're going to have it explained it that well. Jonathan Wilder, do you think Lil Herschel and Maggie Waggy are going to save Negan in their season 2 spinoff? I don't know if Herschel will. Like, I don't need to see Herschel anymore. Like, Herschel was the catalyst for Maggie, Negan, Dead City, the Croat, the Dama, that stuff. Herschel, to me, is a bratty, annoying teenager that resents his mother, doesn't have a father, just is acting out as a teenager, just kind of annoying. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see Herschel that way. Now, if he gets his act together and he helps out and helps Maggie and becomes an asset to the group, to the people, to the community, to his mother, then yes. But I think Maggie is going to help Negan, and then we'll have to see what happens there with New Babylon and the Dama and the Croat and whatever else they want to throw at us in season 2 of Dead City too. So Jarvis asks, never watched Tales from the Walking Dead. I wonder if it's worth it. It's okay. It's worth watching, 3 of the episodes. It's okay. I mean, I would definitely watch it. If you're looking for something to watch, definitely go watch it. It's worth watching for sure. But I recommend checking out Tales of the Walking Dead. At least half of the episodes are decent. The alpha one's pretty good. And overall, they do a decent job. So it's definitely interesting with that. With the Walking Dead universe is still going. I don't know how strong it is, but so if you're football fans, hopefully you're watching the NFL postseason. So the Ravens and the 49ers won. I still find it hard to believe if they don't get into the Super Bowl. I know my pick right now is that the Ravens win the Super Bowl. They're just too good. They're playing great. It's kind of the Harbaugh brothers' year for winning. Jim won the national championship with Michigan, and John should hopefully win another championship at Baltimore. And I think that's just their year, and things are going their way, and Baltimore just looks too good. So it would take a lot for anyone to throw Baltimore off and knock them down and win, but you never know. It's happened before too. So John's my wrestling guy. He says, "Are you ready for the Royal Rumble this coming weekend? I heard Undertaker might compete in it." I'm ready for it. I'm excited. Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam are like the only ones I really care about and I watch on wrestling now. CM Punk, got to see what happens there, and blah blah blah, and all the guys there as well. But I don't know how many guys are going to bring back. And the Undertaker is an old man who has bad hips and bad knees and a bad back and bad everything. I don't know why he would have to compete in the Royal Rumble. I mean, unless he wants to do another match for just, I don't know, WrestleMania, but I don't really need to see. I just don't like Roman Reigns, and I don't need to see that. I'd rather see Cody Rhodes and CM Punk and stuff like that to wrestle, but we'll have to see what happens too. So we're watching. We just finished Reacher, which is good. We're still watching Succession. We're at the Season 1, Episode 10. We watched Episode 9 this morning. It's a pretty good show. I can see why people like it. Hopefully it gets better and better over the 5 seasons, I believe it is. And we just started Fargo on Hulu. I think it's it's an FX show. But so we're on like Episode 3, I think of it, so we have a long ways to go. I remember the movie of Fargo, and I remember watching that, and it's pretty cool to just see the show, and it's pretty interesting so far. Like, I'm enjoying it. If you've seen Fargo, and I know why people like that show as well. I didn't the Echo show with the Marvel stuff. It was kind of like, what am I watching? Like, I don't mind people with disabilities and being whatever, but it's a lot to read and to sign that and this, and it's like, it's not much, but then you throw in the Native American stuff, and I don't want to give anything really away, but it's just like, it's another miss rather than a hit. And I mean, it's going to set up Daredevil, Born Again, and everything. And it's kind of cool to see a couple of things that are in that world of. I like Daredevil, and I really hope they bring John Bernthal back as the Punisher. That was really a good one too. I should have worn my Punisher hat. But overall, guys, did you enjoy it? Did you watch Echo or not? I was talking about it last time in here, and it was filmed. A lot of it, and probably all of it, was filmed in Georgia, which is always pretty cool to see the different filming locations, especially similar things that were filmed on The Walking Dead for different shows because of the tax breaks and everything, which is always great as well. No news about the Daryl Dixon show. No news about Dead City. I know Norman, was just in like a fashion show there in France or something. I don't know what exactly it was, but I believe they finished filming for season 2 of the Daryl Dixon show. Now, there's been rumors, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty more rumors about the Daryl Dixon show season 3. Are they going to come back to the United States? Is it going to be season 3 in going to find Rick or something more with the CRM or there? So I just don't know what the plan is going forward for season 3, if that's going to be the final season or not. Or, there's still a lot left on the table for the Walking Dead universe. Not everything has been used up yet. We still have questions left. Like, what are some of your questions that you want to see answered in the remaining Walking Dead stuff? Whether it's Dead City or The Ones Who Live or Daryl Dixon or another spinoff too. So, because I've been seeing people are still kind of fanning the flames or fueling the fire about the Aaron show. That's cool. Like, if we have an Aaron show or a Father Gabriel show or something like that too, I would love to see more of a connection with stuff. Like, it would be kind of a nice sneak peek if you jumped into the Commonwealth and we saw things a little bit more. I know Kaylee Fleming has a movie coming out with Ryan Reynolds and John Krasinski and everything. It's pretty. It looks pretty interesting. And so I know people are still acting and doing a lot of stuff, and they're back to doing it. So hopefully they'll continue to have more of the answers that people want. And they don't have to answer anything. They can just end it tomorrow and be done with it. And the fans would still watch, and the haters would still hate, and everybody else between would still watch a little bit more. So I know a lot of people gave up on the universe, and I don't know if people are going to come back. Like, only time will tell if The Ones Who Live brings people back, right? Jeannie says, one question I do not care about is what started the ZA or a cure being found. Ivo Q&A, what do you think about the Yellowstone in the Walking Dead universe? So I think it's kind of cool. So for those, I talked about it a couple minutes ago about the helicopters in the mountains in Yellowstone. So if that's where they actually go, that's pretty cool. Now, why are they going there? Are they going there to get away? Are they going there to take down the CRM? Is the Civic Republic there? Because we still don't even know where the Civic Republic main government is. So that would be pretty cool and pretty interesting for them to actually cover. I would like for them to actually talk about it. I would like for them to actually have the powers that be for it. So, because in the comic, Rick dies. He's killed by Sebastian, which is annoying. Michonne lives, and she becomes the judge of the Commonwealth. So is that going to happen on the show? Like, is Rick going to die and Michonne becomes a judge or a part of the Civic Republic? Because what jumps out to me is, why are they going to Yellowstone? To take people away? Because I would assume if Rick has been gone away. Hey, Isaias. If Rick has been a pilot or connected with the Civic Republic military, he would probably know about the Commonwealth. Now, I don't know if he would know that his family and his group is at the Commonwealth. But that would be crazy. Like, what if the Commonwealth was attacked by the CRM before, or really if our group was there, right? Like, that would be kind of crazy. And what if Rick and them were actually responsible for killing, not like a huge character, but like a couple smaller characters? That would be crazy, right? Now, I don't know if that would happen because Rick doesn't know that our group is there. Rick doesn't know about, things. So I don't know. There's been talk about there's a fire thing in the field where that's the Commonwealth and whatever, but it'd be really crazy to think. And we were waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for the CRM Commonwealth angle to be connected with a CRM person to be there with Pamela Milton. Now that Carol has had the leadership role of at the Commonwealth, taking over Lance Hornsby's job, why did she just leave by herself to go after Daryl? Why didn't she take Commonwealth soldiers or other people with her? Does that make sense? Do people care? I don't know. So we'll have to see how it plays out. But, there's a lot of good questions still. So, yeah, Diana, trying to stay warm here. Hopefully you are too. Dragon says, some people say Civic Republic is Philadelphia. However, that makes zero sense to me. And then I saw Jeannie saying that Philadelphia was the first capital. And it was. So the first capital of the United States was Philadelphia. And then it moved down to Washington, D.C. But, yeah, it's also like Philly has a big history of things. And, just there's a lot of historical things that happen there, and the Liberty Bell and the this and the that, like a lot of things that they may show us. So the Civic Republic could be there. That's right. But every time we see with Rick, he's got the rings and he's got this and he's got that, and the Civic Republic military. So I really would love to them to explain things a little bit more. And I wish they did that on World Beyond. Like World Beyond could have been the big story about the CRM. Instead, we got these 4 kids and their dad and the really smart girl and the scientist and things right too. And they didn't really explain things enough for it to be like, oh, well, that makes sense. Oh, that's that connection. Oh, that's that. It was like, well, okay, there's this, author and professor, doctor guy. Okay, that Eugene talked about. That was a little little tie-in. And then the Philadelphia connection could connect with Rick and that too as well. And it just really wasn't enough big things. I don't know. And it doesn't have to connect. And they're kind of making it up as they go. And okay, well, this is going to be uncharted territory with the Civic Republic and the Civic Republic military. So, Ivo Q&A, do you know why AMC are labeling the show, or it's labeling the show as a new series instead of limited series? They labeled a bunch of other shows as limited, but not the ones who live. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. This is like the minutia of things now. I don't know if they think I don't even know if they truly know that it's going to, how many episodes it's going to be or what it's going to be. Now, I would assume they left it open-ended to connect with other shows or have another season or whatever, but that's just my best guess. I'm not going to read into any things too much anymore with AMC because it'll drive you nuts. I'm just glad we finally got the trailer. We're getting these little things on Instagram and Facebook now too. So have you seen the 2 latest ones? So there's like CRM soldiers, and they drop these little like puck things that the lights like circulate around, and they're on the ground and they're just like flashing, and it's going around. Not sure what that's doing or whatever. Is that to attract something or whatever? Not sure. And then the other one is people dressed up in the CRM jackets like Rick is when he's like a prisoner, when Rick like kills the walker and you can't see his left hand and he's like, oh, and he kills it. And they're like banging on the windowsill kind of open area things to attract the walkers. And they're banging on it with just their right arms. So they're like, poof, 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 poof. And they're hitting the thing over and over again with the cattle prod thing that they kill the walkers with. So that's the latest things, and we'll probably have a couple more. I mean, the show comes back in 5 weeks, so we could have one of those things per week, which I don't think they're going to give us anything worthwhile or amazing. I don't think it's going to be anything that's like, wow, they just spoiled that or whatever. But they still have yet to show Rick's left hand other than the wooded scene with the walker being on fire. And he has his hand like this, and he swings the axe or hatchet or whatever at the walker in his hands like that. So that's the only time we've seen it. But when he's in the CRM jacket or he's in this or he's that, he doesn't have. They show his right hand, but they don't show his left hand at all. Which it's kind of weird. I don't know. It's kind of something that, are they doing it on purpose? Are they doing it because he's missing his left hand? Are they doing it because, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know what their plan is too. If they're messing with us or not. JOK just watched Telltale's Clementine story and loved it. Why has that never been made into a live series? That would be a brilliant. Yeah, that's what a lot of people say. That's what a lot of people want to see Clementine some way, shape, or form. I'm not a big fan of the video games because of you have to like make choices, and I like more open-ended stuff. But I know Clementine people love Clementine and the story with that. And, Michonne's in there too. So it kind of clouds things because Michonne's in there and it's just, or not, and Michonne's in a Telltale games. So I don't know. I don't know. It would be pretty cool to see that for the fans of Clementine. And I'd watch. But at this stage, do we really want to be starting fresh with a brand new character? That could be the reboot of the Walking Dead universe that they do from an angle there too. So it would be really cool if Clementine story is the story they start with later on in some way, shape, or form. And there's not other major connections with people from The Walking Dead because I don't know. But it just they can do whatever they want, and they're going to. I do like the idea of having a worthwhile story. I don't need The Walking Dead universe just to continue for whatever because, I have to say this is probably one of the biggest franchises that I've really supported all these years. I still like Star Wars. I love Breaking Bad, that franchise, that universe. But yeah, I mean, The Walking Dead, the comics, the shows, the spin-offs, the others, it's just a lot of different things. I'm not like a huge Star Trek fan, but I've seen the movies. I've seen some of the episodes of their television shows and stuff, and the reboots and the remakes and the bunch of different, Captain Kirks and a bunch of different Spocks, the people that have different played stuff, But besides the Marvel stuff, Star Wars, The Walking Dead is definitely up there too. And, I just want to have eventually a satisfying ending. Whatever it is. Donnie T, Bry, you think 6 episodes of The Ones Who Live will be enough to wrap everything up properly? If they're an hour and a half, yeah. If it's 6 90-minute episodes, like a legit 90 minutes, hour and a half, yeah. That's a lot. That's like getting extra episodes so if you're getting over an hour, but I'm not saying there are. I'm just saying if they do that. But if it's less than an hour, like if they're 45 minutes, or say the first episode is an hour, like 62 minutes or something, and then the next are 41, 43, 46, 45. If they're that type of time, I don't know. In the first episode, you can answer a lot of things. Like Rick was doing this for 6 years. Michonne was doing this for 3 years. And there you go. Boom, we're caught up. We don't have to mess around too much with that. Present day. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Second episode, Rick and Michonne find each other. Third episode, they rescue some people. Fourth episode, they do this. The fifth episode is the one potentially that they go to Yellowstone. Then do the 6th episode deciding how they want to wrap it up. If it sets up other shows, other spinoffs, or another season. I don't know. And we still have yet to find out about who came back from Carol's conversation with Daryl because we haven't seen season 2 of it yet, but hopefully that would be answered as well. Let me see Phantom Deluxe. Where are you at? I see the question. I just see a comment. There you are. Diana said, or you probably deny, said that the military directed her to Alexandria, or Diana, you're talking about Diana from the kingdom, said that the military directed her to Alexandria. Which military could she be referring to? The actual American Army or the CRM? And also Diana had a link with Pamela, so they can be. Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about Diana, the one from the kingdom, I don't know, like that's something that's just there's still left open. And the CRM was clearly brought in for Rick's leaving the show. And then that whole realm. But besides, like, it was very minimally on the show. Like, it was Rick, Negan, Jadis, of course. And that's really it. Deanna. Yeah. So do you mean Deanna or Diana? But either way, it doesn't matter because Deanna's gone. She was the connection with stuff, and Deanna was connected with Conway. So that's why I mean Deanna. But yeah, I don't know. There's too much. There's too many holes left in things. Like Alexandria, unless they do a CGI stuff, is taken down. That's not a filming set anymore. That's gone. They're never going to use that again. Unless they built something here and there, like a set. But I don't know. Like, there's so many things left open that I see why people... And these are good questions. These are things... I don't write for the show, and I don't know what they're trying to do. But because Deanna and Reg and the Alexandria people, CRM was not even thought of. CRM was not thought of any of this. CRM was not there too. So CRM also probably came in after the world truly fell apart, and after so many years it fell apart too. So that's the big thing, is who did this and why. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where there's not going to be any connections left because Pamela Milton's gone and Deanna's gone and all that stuff, and all those connections are gone. The only thing that would be really cool is if Carol shows, like, which I've always said for all these years, that Carol connects with the CRM, the Commonwealth, those major connections, because Lance Hornsby was doing that and Carol took over that position, which would be really cool. And Carol connects the dots in many shapes, many areas now, because of the Daryl Dixon show could connect with Daryl and Carol and the CRM. Commonwealth, Carol, position there. Like Carol could be the glue that connects a little bit, because Carol is an awesome character, and I think yeah, I know there's a lot of stuff and good talk in the chat. Brian asks, do you think we could see Leo Bennett return? Has the actor been up to anything? I don't know. I don't know Dr. Bennett. Bennett. I don't know what he's been there to. I really don't know if Dr. Bennett is going to show up again, or Hope, or Iris, or Elton, or Silas. Like, I don't know. It just, right now, it seems like they're filler. It seems like everything is filler with World Beyond, of course, with Fear the Walking Dead. That's total nonsense. Except Althea and Isabel. Like, because they went away and Isabel was a pilot. We still don't know with, level 2 is, or whatever they called it from, it's level 2, that's my book series. But the thing on The Walking Dead, where they were going to the, number 2, whatever area. And then we don't know about where Althea and, Reclamation Team and this and that, because CRM has the fighters and the numbers and the weapons and the gear and, just everything. So they're a formidable thing. But they're also like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would they kill the campus colony? Why would Why would they try to take out the things that are working for them? People are a resource. Negan said it best, and they are, especially good people. Like, you can't just massacre all these people. You can't kill Omaha and the campus colony in this. And then they kind of mind their business, do all that stuff, and I don't know. Like, it doesn't really fit what they're trying to do. And why are there so many walkers still? Like, so many walkers. Like, it's crazy. I just don't get it. At the end of it, hopefully there will be no more walkers left at the end of the Walking Dead universe and whenever they finish and, whenever it's truly done. Johnny T, do you think Heath is there with Rick? I hope so. It would be really cool to see Heath. Or even if it was like Heath, like the back of a guy. And there's like, yeah, give it to my guy Heath over there. And you don't even like see him. And it's not the same actor and it's not whatever, but you see like a back of him or a silhouette of him or something. I don't know. Because that's like since Heath went away, it's just like, what is Heath? What is the resolution of the Heath character? I mean, it makes no difference. Like, he's a throwaway character. No one even cared about him in Alexandria. No one cared about him in the story. But people care about Tobias. People care about certain characters in the Walking Dead universe that make no sense. And people care about the, Alex girl, whatever that was on the airplane and this and that. Like, you're trying to force all these things in there. But it's just funny at this point, But we'll have to see. We're getting there, guys. In 5 weeks, The Walking Dead will be back. So I'm trying to finish up my book cover for the Fight for Us, The End. My wife has 15, 16, 17. So she's got 4 chapters left because it's 18 chapters. And she's going to start chapter 15. So we're getting there. I'm really excited to get that out, but it's just been a lot of craziness with my job and this and that too. So it's definitely something where hopefully you guys are checking out the series and enjoying it. We truly appreciate the support in that. Walking Dead Eternal. Do you think Huck will be in the spinoff? Because I think that this is before World Beyond. Could be. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Huck again, even if she was just at the market or something, and then we see a brief glimpse of her. She could show up. I don't know. I don't know if she will, but the timeline would be things too. But I think that we can't wait around and play around with where Rick has been for all these years and all this stuff and years of that and other too. They need to catch up pretty quickly. If it's 6 episodes, that needs to be expedited in the first 25, 30 minutes of the first episode and then get caught up real fast. Let me see a question I missed here. Ivo Q&A, how have all the reactors across the world not exploded yet without any people to take care of them? By the way, like in real life apocalypse, the earth would just blow up from so many reactors. Yeah, exactly. So that's a big thing that they covered that on Fear the Walking Dead a little bit, but that would be cause for concern for sure. I mean, that's a great question. Brian asks, why don't even soldiers who go AWOL tell others where the CRM is? Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think they try to mitigate that. Like we saw that on World Beyond with Elizabeth Kublik, and that soldier, he was committed to that group and then was probably executed and killed because he was a liability. So I'm guessing that would be makes sense. SPK says, will we see Elizabeth Kublik again? I don't know. I'd hope so. I really hope that World Beyond was not a total waste of time besides meeting Major General Beale's son. Like, if he shows up, ooh, great. Like, who cares? Jadis shows up. Great, obviously. She's the connection between Walking Dead, World Beyond, and now The Ones Who Live. So, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where a lot of stuff left on the table, a lot of stuff to answer, and I really hope the spinoffs start to answer more things. We need questions, but we don't need that. You don't need like to add 15, 20 more questions to the already 25, 30 that remain out there, right? So A's and B's need to truly be explained to a T. That A's are test subjects and B's are workers. They put to work. A's are just, that's it. And that's what we think. And that's what we thought for a while now. And it kind of is explained. So, but we need stuff clear cut, explained, point blank, easy. Done. But the fact of it is that we're finally going to get to see Rick and Michonne. Right? Michonne's my favorite character. Rick's my top 3, 4 favorite characters. And so that's a win-win. Now, I want to see answers. I want to see reunions. I want to see stuff there too. And then we'll go from there. But eventually it's got to end, right? You know, I don't know how much longer they're going to be doing this for and what it is, but at least we have this to look forward to, these 6 episodes. I still have yet to see Iron Claw. I want to see that. But just like I said, watching football, watching Succession, and yeah, what are you guys watching? What are you guys excited for? Are you excited for any of the games today? Chiefs, Bills, and Bucks, Lions. Pretty cool. Ivo, Q&A, do you think that the Boy and Daryl episode 5 said about some safe place in California he and his girlfriend were headed to is a link to what Madison... I don't think Alicia and Madison are connected with anything. That is like fill in the gap, fill in the blank nonsense. It's like Mad Libs. Fear the Walking Dead is like every season just Mad Libs. And if you don't know what Mad Libs are, there's like a story that has blanks, and you have to add either a noun, an adjective, a verb, or something in those blanks. So the story becomes like nonsense, and that's what the fun thing about it was. You're putting in crazy words to fill in the gaps there too, and that's kind of what I feel like Fear the Walking Dead was. So it would be wishful thinking that they planned out anything that Madison and Alicia were doing to go back to anything pertinent in California. But if they were in Georgia, which I believe they were for that, they're going to take I-10 across and go through Texas and just drive through all the nuclear radiation that's there, and they're okay with it? Are they going to have to go detours? Are there bridges that how are they actually going to get there? I mean, I don't care because we're never going to see him again, so it doesn't really make sense. But, Brian, how pissed would you be if Rick and Michonne escaped and don't go back to Alexandria to spare them from the CRM? That would suck. I'm not worried about that, but it would suck if. So imagine if the CRM knows who Judith and their group are. Like they know who Daryl, Carol, blah 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 are, and they say, "Look, we're gonna bomb them and kill them." And Rick and Michonne step up and say, look, we'll go away, we'll do this if you spare their lives. So they'll never have a reunion. They'll never have Rick, Michonne teaming, or seeing Judith, RJ, and whatever again. That would be total crap. That would be total nonsense where it would be like, oh my God, so you can't see it. Like the final story of Rick and Michonne is them going to Yellowstone or Wyoming or wherever, or Montana, or Portland, so far away from Ohio, and they're done. And they can't see their family. Which would be dumb, because how do you know this CRM would actually hold up their end of the bargain? Right? Wilson, the Beekeeper, was rubbish. 3 out of 10. Yeah, that's the one with Jason Statham. And I like Jason Statham, but we'll see. Yeah, so 3 Souls is rooting for the Bucks. Good stuff. That would just really bother me if that's what they would do. Like, we need fan service. We need reunions. We need Rick and Michonne. We've waited all these years to see Rick. I think the fans really need it to be a rewarding ending. We really need it to be rewarding. And if it's not, that's going to be really frustrating. And I hope it's rewarding on all 6 episodes. Like the level of reward gets better and better and better and better and better each episode. Yeah, so I don't know. And, you know, if it's true, Andrew Lincoln said that this show is very different. I don't know why it's very different, why it has to be very different, because it doesn't. Because you have Rick, Michonne, Jadis, you have the CRM, military stuff, you have walkers, you have new characters, you have stuff that, you know, can feel like the Daryl show, it's different, but it felt like The Walking Dead. Dead City, it's different, but it felt, you know, like The Walking Dead somewhat. Why can't Rick and Michonne's show feel that way too? And maybe it does. Or maybe he didn't even say that. I don't know. But I would love to see, you know, some press tour, interviews, something to deal with Rick, Michonne there too. That would be kind of cool to see. And I don't know if we're going to get anything else. We'll probably get more pictures. We'll probably get more stuff there. We'll probably get those little more clips from, you know, social media. But I just hope it's rewarding. Like, the way I would write it for Rick is that Rick dies, but makes it back to the Commonwealth to say goodbye to Judith and meet RJ, and then he dies. Because Andrew Lincoln will keep getting asked, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? When are you coming back? Are you done playing Rick Grimes? Are you done playing Grimes? Are you going to play Rick again? Are you going to play Rick? And if he dies, then he's like, I'm done. I died. It's my last time. It's my last time playing Rick Grimes. You know, so I don't know if Lenny James is going to keep getting the question of, are you going to play Morgan again? Are you going to play? Because he's still alive. And he talked about finding Rick and seeing Rick and this and the timeline of stuff. So that's another muddy timeline. But there's a lot of stuff left out there, and so it can be done. I don't know if it's going to happen that way or not. But this is kind of like uncharted territory to be going this long with, look at all the spin-offs that have come from the main show. You know? Fear the Walking Dead, World Beyond, Tales of the Walking Dead, and now The Ones Who Live, plus the Daryl Dixon show, and Dead City. So that's crazy. That's crazy amount of spin-offs from a thing that, you know, a lot of these characters didn't even exist in the comic. A lot of these characters are different, vastly different than the comic. And they're still getting shows and content out there. So it's interesting for us, guys, and hopefully you guys are excited for it too, and your friends and others as well. And, you know, I want to start probably talking to some people at work if they watch The Walking Dead, but I've already asked a couple coworkers, and they gave up on The Walking Dead. Like, they've stopped watching it in, like, season 8 or 9. And so I don't know if this is going to bring them back, and I don't know if it is. And I don't care if people are brought back to it because it's not my job. My job is just to comment on stuff that is, and I enjoy it talking to you guys about it. But I think it's going to be a good show. I don't know if it's going to be a great show. Like, I had high hopes for the Daryl show, and then I had low hopes, and then I was interested, and then I wasn't, and I was there, and I was worried about this and there too, but it was great. It was a good show. Same thing with Dead City. Dead City, I was like, what about this, that, blah, 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 Maggie and Negan, is it going to be stupid, blah, 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 but it worked. It was basically the Negan show for me. Negan was the best part of it, and I have faith in, you know, Andrew and Denai to play Rick and Michonne well, and their budget's high. I mean, they got over $13 million an episode, so hopefully that's in set, writing, you know, production, CGI, like hopefully they have all these things great for it. That is rewarding. But it basically comes down to the basic concept of writing a good story. And now that I'm older and I'm a, you know, amateur writer, I see that is a huge thing. Like, if your characters are trash and your story is trash, or your characters are good and the story is dumb, or if your characters are dumb and the story is good, but there's a lot of things that it can go. Or if it's nonsense, or stuff doesn't make sense, or the continuity is off, or the consistency is off, and stuff like that is dumb. it's just, it's going to hurt things, you know. And I've learned, through my process of all this whole thing, what's good, what's bad, what is, up and down from it. But I'm interested to see what Rick has been up to. Hopefully there's little callback connections and Easter eggs. Like there already. We've seen the phone. We've seen the etching. We've seen the guy talking with Michonne, talking about Michonne hold on a little bit or believe a little bit longer. Who did that? Who did the etching? Will we see Virgil again? The boots, the phone, the this, the that. Like, what is that? But the etching is different. It definitely is different. It's not the same prop. It's not the same phone. Unless she had it done. I don't know. But who did that? We know we know some potential spoilers from the marketplace, and we saw the etching on the TV and everything there too, in the TV screens, and there's going to be a little shop at the marketplace. But why is it there on the boat that we were like Michonne just found it randomly? Like, what's the boat? Virgil it's like a lot of things that are still. Will we see more chocolate pudding? Probably. Like the little things like that, like a giant, like when Rick's at the marketplace and Michonne or somebody there too, and they can remember Carl because he ate the giant thing of pudding. They didn't see him do it. We saw him do it, but it would be really cool too. So, hi Lisa. So it would be kind of cool to see these little callbacks, connections, Easter eggs, flashbacks, callbacks, stuff. I like that. I like that in shows and movies. It always is good too. I don't know, but it's something that I'm interested in. And I think you guys are too. So like I said, my Fight for Us book series is going strong. It's, the 19 books are still out there now. The In 100 Days, which is the prequel to Fight for Us, is out now too. So, 3 plus 19 is 22. Going to be 23 when the next book comes out, the end of Fight for Us. And it's kind of cool because I'm excited to see where the story goes, and that story and possibly beyond. Which is always good because, my feeling of comic books is the next book, the next book, the next book, the next book, the next book. It's never ending. The next book, the next book, the next book, the next series. Okay, so you have, like, I'm an X-Men fan, right? So you have X-Men, the Incredible this, or Spider-Man, the Incredible Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, X-Men, X-Men Evolution, X-Men this, that. And it's like so many different branches of it off, Then you have Superman, and then Superman dies, then he comes back, and then you have that, and then you have that. And it's like so many crazy things, like it's never ending of it, over and over and over and over. There's no true ending. And that's what shows, I think, are trying to do now too, is to draw you in, especially like a comic book story or some sort of source material like that, where there's not a true ending of it. And The Walking Dead has an ending. But I guess the Walking Dead Universe, the TV show at least, the adaptation of that is like, nah, we're not done with that. We're still going strong. Yeah, that comic book, that's good source material, but that's not the true ending of it. So we'll have to see how it goes down. But like I said, guys, hopefully you enjoy the football games tonight. We got 2 games, then we'll see who goes to the Super Bowl next the following weekend. And then once that's done, then we have the Pro Bowl, then we have Super Bowl. So it's going to be pretty cool. So after this, it's going to be like a race to the Super Bowl because that is February 11th, which is 2 weeks before the Ones Who Live premiere, which it'll be here before you know it, guys. And I know that I think there's going to be a trailer for Deadpool and at the Super Bowl. And which should be awesome, and it should be amazing to see what's going on with that. I think that'll be a good that should hopefully connect Marvel and make some money back in the movies for Deadpool and that franchise, and Disney and Fox, and who owns that now too. So Wilson, Q&A was interesting. The etching was on a mobile phone. Isn't that the first time anyone has even had a mobile? I guess even everyone walking through their phones away. No, like Alicia had one when she's playing music, which I thought was hilarious. She's like, all right, follow me. follow me there. And they've had phones before, not a lot of them, which is kind of crazy because everyone is connected to their phones. And so many people in the Walking Dead universe didn't have phones. And I mean, that it's its own little weird bubble that's just kind of laughable too. But phones would have been because it's supposed to be like 2010, really before the start of the whole craze with all the smartphones and everything too. So, but there were phones throughout the Walking Dead universe. Not many, but the etching is on there, which is just a portable way of that too. So, all right, guys, that's my hour. I truly appreciate you guys taking the time to be here. Enjoy football, any shows or movies that you're going to watch tonight. I'll be back next weekend. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. Keep working hard. I'll see you next Sunday.